So you're going 100 miles per hour and suddenly something comes on the way. There is a bump. And when everything was going smooth and the bubble was expanding, something happens that bursts the bubble. Does that sound familiar? If it does, it's great because we are going to discuss about embracing pitfalls in business and in life today. So get your notepads and pen ready. I'll see you after the intro. So we encounter bumps and pitfalls along the way in life and in business more often than we desire. And they are just natural part of life. You really can't do anything about it. And especially when you are trying to expand the horizon, sometimes you have to fall off the edge to discover the new edge and to grow the edge. And that's how we learn and that's how we grow as a civilization and as individuals. So we will encounter pitfalls, it's a fact, just accept it. And the earlier you accept it, the better it's going to be for you. But it's not necessary to take these pitfalls, this temporary bumps along the way or hiccups as failures. That's optional. And all these are experiences in life, and we grow with experiences. So, what's growth? Let's define growth. I would like to define growth as the sum of experience plus reflection. So, whenever we experience something, instead of passing a judgment, alas, this happened to me, we could then use that experience and reflect upon that experience, that why did this happen. And whenever we utter a statement, it closes the mind. But when we ask a question, it opens the mind. It's the greatest instrument in the world. And that's the mind is the lifesaver when it comes to business or in life. Whenever you encounter any kind of hiccups, so it's always good to ask questions than to utter a statement. And so that's how I like to define growth, as the sum of um, experiences and reflection. Growth equals experience plus reflection. And so how do I advise you to deal with this business launch, since we are close to launching the business, right? We started from vision, we have our reason, we have our business model, we understand finances, we have built a network, and we have our sales process, our end-to-end ecosystem in line with all the value ladder and conversion funnels and everything. So now we are close to the launch. And despite everything being planned perfectly, when you execute that plan, if anybody is programmer, when you write a program and when you run the program, it doesn't always run the way you programmed it. You'll always encounter bugs, you will always have some errors you would have to fix and you would have to troubleshoot. So instead of considering this as as launching of a rocket, rocket either goes to space or it just drops back into the sea. Consider this as a learning launch, and note down this word learning launch. Every project you do it as such. So instead of just having a fixed set of desires and goals, um, and either you gain those goals or you don't achieve those goals. And instead of thinking of it in terms of success and failure, just think of it in terms of a learning launch. So when you launch something, you may or may not achieve your goals, and when you don't achieve your goals, it's an experience which gives you the chance to reflect on experience. And when you reflect on experience, it's the opportunity to grow. And that's how you grow, and that's how you continue with your plan. So it's almost like water, right? When water is flowing and it encounters an obstacle, it just moves around the obstacle. It doesn't really try to clash with it. And when if it reaches a dead end, water just waits and it rises above the obstacle and starts flowing. So that's what we mean by growth. And so think of life as this, as a cycle. So you have audacious goals, you encounter pitfalls, you ask questions. When you ask questions, you grow. And as you grow, you solve the problem, right? So that's how you grow. So when you grow, you have more audacious goals, right? Because you're aiming high in terms of business, in terms of impact you're creating, in terms of money you're earning, in terms of quality of life you have, in terms of your relationships with people, in terms of your physique, your stamina, your endurance, right? In every area you are pushing. And if you're not, I don't know why you're not, because it doesn't make any sense. So always regard everything as a learning launch, and all of your goals and expectations as hypotheses, as something you need to validate. If they don't work, that's okay. That's not a failure. It's just an opportunity to change things, to meddle with things, to manipulate them, and to launch again and again and again, and learning and growing from each launch. That's why the name learning launch. So that's the last thing I wanted to share before I let you go and I let you launch your business. Because despite the best planning, things don't always go as planned. I hope they do, and I wish you all the best for that. I wish you the best that things happen the way you plan and the way you expect. But sometimes they might not, and if they don't take it as something negative. Don't take it as the end of the world. You are still happy, you're still alive, you're still breathing. Be grateful for that. Be grateful for the people you have with you. Be grateful for family and friends, and just the privilege that you are still watching this video, because a lot of people can't. They either don't speak the language, they don't have access to internet, they can't afford the internet. And if you think we would always have something to be grateful for, there is this saying by Shakespeare that I was upset. I'm paraphrasing it. I'm bringing the essence. I don't remember it literally, but he says, I was upset that my leg got hurt, and then I saw a man who was disabled. He didn't have a leg, and then I was just grateful. I was no longer upset that my leg got hurt. I was just grateful to have a leg. And so there's always something we could be grateful for. But at the same time, that gratitude should not stop us from moving forward. That gratitude will fuel our growth. So that gratitude, is our fuel. If we are constantly living in negativity, we really can't grow because all the negativity would make us suffocate. Uh, anyway. So always, think of everything in this sense as a learning launch, as a hypothesis to be tested and tested. And if things go your way, it's great, fantastic, right? Your observation was correct. But if they don't go, just look at it as another thing to observe, to analyze, and find the loopholes, find the errors, rectify them, launch again, learn, and grow. And that's it for the last video. I don't want to make it too long, but well, actually, it's not the last video, it's just the last technical video. We are talking about business. But in the upcoming video, um, in the next video, we'll be talking about stress management. How do you deal with stress? So, more on the aspect of life than the aspect of work, although I don't believe in that kind of distinction. And I've also written an article on that. I will leave that in the link below so I don't have to repeat it and waste your time. So I wish you a wonderful day or a wonderful night and a wonderful life. And I wish you all the best for all your future endeavors. I hope you get nothing but success, success, and success. And may all your dreams come true. Bye bye. Bizu bizu. Namaste.